A CIA cable from December 27, 1979, details the shipment of 300 British Lee Enfield rifles to Afghan mujahideen. This delivery appears mundane in the context of the Cold War. Yet, a critical detail is omitted from the official reports: the names of the recipients are systematically erased. No tribal leader is named. No commander is listed. Line 14 of paragraph 7 simply states, recipients unspecified. Why conceal those who were being armed? In 1979, no one asked this question. Today, reading the declassified archives, the matter becomes central. The program is known as Operation Cyclone. It officially launches in July 1979, 3 months before the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. A CIA FOIA reading room memo states the objective plainly: aid Afghan resistance in pushing back communist influence. Initial funding amounts were modest, $695,000. Then, in 1987, the annual budget reached $630 million. This increase defied military logic. Charlie Wilson, the Texan congressman who brought the operation before Congress, recounts in his memoirs that the priority was to make the Soviets bleed. This meant arming without filter. Pakistan, through President Mohammad Zia-ul-Haq, became the exclusive channel. However, the archives show the ISI, the Pakistani intelligence service, decided which groups received the weapons. This included the Stinger surface-to-air missiles. An anomaly troubles the investigators. No declassified CIA document demands a list of final beneficiaries. The only condition imposed was that the program must avoid arming groups involved in drug trafficking. There is no mention of religious extremism. In 1985, a CIA analyst noted in the margin of a report, "We have no control over the distribution chain." This remark was classified and never transmitted to Congress. What follows in this file is a 3-year gap. In 1986, the CIA approved the shipment of 900 Stinger missiles. Gust Avrakotos, the CIA agent coordinating Cyclone, later explained that the anti-Soviet urgency superseded all other considerations. He stated, "We wanted results quickly." The Stingers downed hundreds of Soviet helicopters. But the launchers were never recovered. No return inventory was required. The Stingers vanished into the mountains. Years later, Pentagon reports confirmed that Afghan missiles were found in Chechnya, in the Pamirs, and even in Al-Qaeda caches. The official version insists the aid was punctual and controlled. But a CIA memorandum from 1988 mentions an increase in deliveries to factions not under the command of historical leaders. The same document lists 6 groups classified as radical Islamists. It simply recommends monitoring possible deviations. No suspension of deliveries was proposed. In 1989, the Soviet army withdrew. Operation Cyclone should have ended. A report from the Senate Commission on Clandestine Operations reveals that funding continued, almost unchanged, until 1992. Why continue arming when the enemy was gone? The archives offer a path. The American ambassador in Afghanistan at the time, Peter Thompson, testified that he requested the program's end in 1990. His request was ignored. In 1991, the Taliban, previously unknown to the West, began receiving weapons through Pakistani channels. The Cyclone file, officially closed in 1992, contains no assessment of the consequences. There was no request for weapon restitution. There was no internal investigation. Silence itself became a document. Until now, one could believe Cyclone was a limited, contained Cold War response. But a single line in a 1987 document, declassified in 2015, poses a definitive problem. It is a footnote, written by the CIA Deputy Director for Operations. The administration was informed that certain Pakistani channels provide weapons to groups linked to the international Islamist movement. The decision to proceed is political. This note never reached Congress. It was not included in official briefings. When Charlie Wilson is questioned in 1998 about this point, he answers, "It was the war. We do not look at the ID card of those who shoot the enemy." The popular version suggests the United States armed freedom fighters. But the documents tell a different story. They armed networks they knew were radical. They did so without controlling the final destination of the weapons. They pursued the program long after the official conflict ended. This detail, seemingly technical, changes everything. Because it raises one singular question: who profits from this silence? What if what we have seen is not an anomaly, but a pattern? The files of Project Zodiac appeared isolated. A handwritten note from 1957. A report suppressed in 1963. A budget erased in 1972. 3 points, seemingly unconnected. Yet, the researchers who analyzed the layers of declassification found a recurring signature. They discovered identical geometric corrections applied across decades. It is as if a single entity, or a singular method, had scrubbed the archives clean. This raises the central question: who held the authority and the access to modify these records over such a long period? The document Icepick, declassified in 2025, bears an erased annotation, reallocated under Mirage. This name refers to a program whose official existence has been denied since 1970. Yet, the 2000 budget shows a line still active for Mirage 4. What is the connection between Zodiac, Icepick, and Mirage? What if there were not 3 separate programs, but a single entity that changed its name every time the light approached? This is not the only file the archives chose to bury. Another file, named Project Stargate, follows the exact same chronology. But that is the next episode. On March 3, 2026, a series of 47 pages appeared on the CIA FOIA portal. This was the complete budget for the Program 914, which was unknown until this date. Every dollar is detailed. Except one page remains blank, page 31, covering the period 1999 to 2001. The requester, an independent researcher named Paul K., noted a disturbing coincidence. The total amount declared for this period, $2 and $3 billion, matched exactly the estimated cost of a 10-level underground installation, according to a 1998 congressional study. The document bears a stamp, Project Mirage, Phase 4. A handwritten notation, added in 2002, indicates transfer to unallocated budget. In 2024, during hearings on unidentified aerospace phenomena, the Deputy Director of Intelligence referenced inherited programs whose funding exceeds all public knowledge. He offered no names. Today, with page 31 missing, one question remains: does Project Mirage still exist? The document bears a revision date, 2024. It carries a code, CS 914/S. The S stands for active. According to a former intelligence officer brought in by the investigators, the program never ceased. It was simply absorbed by a nameless entity. On March 3, 2026, the top secret stamp was removed. But the names remained hidden. So, who supervises Project Mirage today? Which agency receives its reports? And why does the budget appear in 2026, but not the personnel or the results? The Icepick file remains closed. It awaits its next reader. The next time, we will open another box. The one belonging to a competing program, whose codename begins with the letter S. These two files may intersect. The mystery deepens. And if the true question is not what is hidden, but why now?